It may sound like I'm beating a dead horse again, but this is the third time I've talked about this. But since the bowl season is officially over, if you will, maybe with the exception of the East-West Shrine game, the North and South, and then the Senior Bowl, um, you know, I just feel as though not many people have been paying attention to what I've been saying. So I'm gonna just try to flat out say it here. You know, uh, to me, the bowl season, a lot of people, it's like I mentioned in my previous audio video where I discussed just about anything that was on my mind today. Some people feel as though there needs to be a playoff. Okay, I can understand that. But like I said, the reason the NCAA is not going to do that is because they probably feel it's going to kill the majestic, nostalgic feeling that college bowl games give people and give colleges throughout the years. That's what I feel they believe it's going to do. It's going to kill that majestic feeling. They feel it's going to kill that majestic feeling. And hold on for a second. All right. I'm sorry I took off there for a second. I had to let my cat back in the garage. But anyway, like I said, they feel as though it will kill the majestic feeling of the majestic, if not nostalgic feeling that, people of the college bowl season, and also the fact it'll cause probably some people to be angry at the fact it will cause fans to be angry because there are some fans, believe it or not, that look forward to the college bowl season. That's why they don't do it, and also it's the revenue, so go figure. But, speaking of the college bowl season, I believe, honestly, it needs to be fixed. Flat out honest. I am flat out honest with you. You see, one of my family members who doesn't watch football that much, I told them about the Orange Bowl being on last Monday night. Not last night, but a week ago. And this family member asked me, this family member mentioned to me that they thought it came on earlier than this. In other words, this family member of mine was always used to seeing the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. Well, basically, I had to explain to this family member that nowadays these big bowls, the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl, are all on separate days now. Like, you have, like New Year's Day, basically you keep the nostalgic feeling of on New Year's Day, you have two BCS bowl games that day. You have the Rose Bowl, if it's not catering the national championship, as well as you have another BCS bowl. You might have the Fiesta. You might have the Orange. Usually the game that comes on that day alongside the Rose Bowl is usually the game in which the stadium that's hosting the game is also going to be hosting the national championship. So that means if the Orange Bowl or the Sugar Bowl is hosting a national championship next year, then that game will be on New Year's Day. But again, what I'm saying is the bowl system overall needs to be fixed. Here's why I say this. Because I mentioned this a couple times in the videos I talked about. Apparently nobody's listening. Hopefully some people will listen now. You got the reason I say it needs to be fixed is because lately, over the past few years, and I don't know why they're doing this. I guess maybe they want the smaller schools that get into bowl games to feel important, and that's cool and everything. That's all right. I'm cool with that if you want to make somebody feel important. But if you're going to build towards your national championship game, here's what I do. I don't bowl somebody out. All right? I don't bowl them out. I don't burn them out with constant bowl games. Okay? I mean, what did we have after? What did we have after the Sugar Bowl? Huh? Some, major bowl rise. We didn't have any major bowls until last night. And what did we have in between? Huh? We had the GoDaddy.com bowl. We had the BVAA Compass Bowl, and then we had the Kraft Hunger Bowl. To me, I feel as though these bowl games need to be aired not the week before the BCS National Championship game and not days before. What you need to do is you need to air these bowl games in December where they rightfully belong. Now, yes, I agree. I do agree and respect the fact that you want to put these bowl games later on in the day, because later on in January, leading up to the national championship, so that the teams participating in them, especially if they're a mid-conference school, can feel important. Well, it doesn't matter either way if they feel important or not. All that matters to them is they get the chance to play in the College Bowl season. That's all that matters to them. You take a look at the Liberty Bowl. The Liberty Bowl is the Orange Bowl, is the Rose Bowl, is the Fiesta Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, basically the BCS National Championship Game Bowl for a Conference USA champion. That's what it is. Alright? That's what it is. The same could be said for the Humanitarian Bowl and for the New Orleans Bowl. The Sun Belt champion, whoever it is that goes to one of those bowls, that's the BCS National Championship. That's the BCS Bowl game. Now, unless they really become a school that dominates in the year, throughout the year, like Boise State and TCU has, then yeah, they'll get recognition to possibly have the opportunity to be considered for a BCS game. But until then, those bowl games that they go into, that's their BCS bowl game. That's their national championship game. You see, in all honesty, if you want to hype up your championship game, don't bowl somebody out. Don't burn them out with constant bowls. Even if it's in between, don't burn them out. Okay? Don't burn them out. I mean, I know the GoDaddy.com Bowl had the MAC champion represented in it, but come on. If you're going to have that game, have it in December. That way you could use the rest of the week. It doesn't matter if you have maybe the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl like they did this year on Monday and Tuesday. It doesn't matter. Those are the exceptions. People look forward to those games because those are the big time games. Those are the BCS games. Those are the games that show you whether or not the team that wins that game is going to take that next step to the national title next year. So, anyway, what I'm saying is that besides that, don't burn somebody out constantly with all these medium-sized bowls, these mid-sized bowls. Put these mid-sized bowls back in December. And then use the rest of the week, like they should have done this week. Use the rest of the week from when the final gun went off, from when the final buzzer or gun went off in the Sugar Bowl. Use the rest of that week. Use Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday to hype up your national championship game even more. I mean, yes, the national championship game last night lived up to the hype. I'm not denying that it didn't. But if you're going to hype it up even more to the point that you're going to have more viewers than what you probably had last night. And if you have any competition, that competition is going to be like that competition will probably be like, it's not even there. Your game will act like that competition is not even there. use the rest of the week. Don't burn somebody out with bowl games, okay? Here's the thing. They had Friday. Here's the thing. They started the bowl season on a Saturday, Saturday, December 18th of last year, of last month, I should say. And here's the thing. They had the 17th. They could have easily started the whole thing on the 17th. That's right. They could have started the thing on the 17th. And here's what they could have done. They could have took some of those small bowl games that they had on the 18th, the Humanitarian Bowl, the New Mexico Bowl, and what else was on that now? Let me check my iPod here. But like I said, take the games you had on the 18th, move them to the 17th, and then take the games that you separated on different days, if you will, and have them aired the next day. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would have moved the Humanitarian Bowl, the New Mexico Bowl. Let me see if... here we go. I would have moved the New Mexico Bowl, the Humanitarian Bowl, and the New Orleans Bowl. I would have moved them to December 17th on a Friday. I would have done that. That's when I would have done it. Then I would have taken my other bowl games that I had that were this past week before the national championship, which was the Cotton Bowl. Well, the Cotton Bowl, I could probably understand. You could put that maybe on the second or keep it on the first. I would have kept it on the first. But the other games like the GoDaddy.com Bowl, the BBVA Compass Bowl, and the Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl, I would have taken those games and I would have put those three that I mentioned, GoDaddy, BBVA, and Kraft Hunger, I would have put those games on the 18th of December. That way you get them done with, out of the way, and then you could start the rest of the week with your bowl games. The Cotton Bowl, I probably would have understood if it was on the 3rd, maybe the 2nd. I could have understood that. I could have understood if you wanted to put it on the 2nd at night or on the 3rd, or at least maybe the 5th. I could have understood that. The 2nd or the 5th, I could have understood. But me, being a traditionalist, I would have liked to seen it just stay on New Year's Day, because people are used to seeing it there. The only reason they moved it to the 8th is not only to, build it up and show how important it is, but also because it was I think because it was debuting inside Cowboy Stadium. That's why they did it. They wanted to hype up its debut in Cowboy Stadium. But overall, honestly, my opinion, do exactly what I said. I would have done exactly what I said. Do what I said. I would have done exactly what I said. I would have basically hyped. Here's what I would have done. I would have taken those three small bowls that were on ESPN, GoDaddy, BBVA, and Kraft Fight Hunger. I would have took those three bowls, put them on the 18th, took the three bowls that were on the 18th, which were the New Mexico, Humanitarian, New Orleans Bowl, put those on the 17th, and then go from there. That's what I would have done. It would have made more sense. And then with the exception of the Cotton Bowl maybe being on the 2nd or on the 5th, if you will, of January, or even if just, keeping it on the 1st, which I would have done, just keeping it on the 1st, I would have used the rest of that week. I would have used the rest of that week to hype up, to give more importance, to get people more hyped up, to get people more talking about the national championship game with Oregon and Auburn, to the point that, like I said, you would have so many viewers that if you had any competition that night on television, people would have acted like that competition never existed. They would have acted like it's nothing. We can catch it another time. Or, who cares about that show? We'll watch something. We're watching this. It's more important. That's what I would have done if I was the NCAA. And quite honestly, that's what they need to do next year. And next year is going to be even more difficult, if you will. Because New Year's Day is falling on a Sunday next year. New Year's Day is falling on a Sunday. So they're going to have to wait till the second, if you will, to have all the bowl games. That's right, till the second. And here's what's funny. Here's what's funny, though. A lot of people, with the exception of some federal government jobs, or federal funded jobs, if you will, a majority of anybody else that was working had the 3rd off. So you could have easily, like I said, had the Cotton Bowl on the 2nd or the 3rd. 2nd at night, 3rd during the day, or even 5th at night. It doesn't matter. But again, if I was in charge of the bowl system, I would have kept it on New Year's Day, what it was traditionally known to be. And people are traditionally known to see it on. But again, I would have done that so that I can have the rest of the week to hype up and get people talking even more, get more people hyped up, get more people talking about my BCS National Championship game. I would do that. And I know some people think, well, you're not in charge of the system and there's not much you can do. I'm not saying there's not much I can do. And I'm not saying I'm in charge. I'm just saying, in my opinion, if I was running things, this is how I would do it. Quite honestly. This is how I would do it. Also, I would make sure any team that had a bowl eligible record got a bowl game. That's what I would do as well. I mean, Temple got left out of the bowl equation this year. And they had like 8-4. Who'd they get replaced by? Teams that didn't belong in a bowl game? Teams with 6-6 records who got annihilated in some of these bowl games? I mean, there were teams in here with 6-6 records that got annihilated. Literally, honestly. There were teams that got annihilated that had those 6-6 records. They shouldn't have even been in a bowl game. But yet they got in. That's another thing I would make sure. I'd make sure the team that has a more bowl eligible record would get in. Like, let's see. Trying to see. So many bowl games this year, and I'm okay with that. I'm cool. Let's see now. Nope. I think the only bowl game I probably would have put Temple in, I probably would have put them in to the New Mexico Bowl and left UTEP out. I could be wrong. I don't know what UTEP's record was this year. I think it was 7-5, but still. And in fact, someone says here that this Brad Edwards or Blake Edwards, whoever does this college bowl app from ESPN, says that the pre-Christmas bowl games are often an extension of the regular season because there hasn't been enough of a layoff to cause teams to lose momentum. So, I don't know. But anyway, I mean, BYU, they beat UTEP 52-24. So if I was them, I would have put, as much as, despite the fact that UTEP is close to New Mexico and close to Albuquerque, I would have put Temple instead. Because honestly, that probably would have made a more closer bowl, if you know what I'm saying. But that's another thing I would fix. But overall, like I said, that's another thing I would fix. Make sure teams with actual bowl eligible records got in. But overall, like I said, what I would do is I'd take those small bowls that we saw this past week, from the GoDaddy to the BBVA to the Kraft Fight Hunger. I would have put them on the 18th of December while I put the other ones that aired on the 18th, which was New Mexico, Humanitarian, and New Orleans, I would have put those on the 17th. That way we could just, go from there. And then as far as the Cotton Bowl goes, if I had some room on the schedule during New Year's, I would have kept it on New Year's. I would have if not, I either would have aired it the day the day after in prime time on Sunday, or I would have aired it during the day on Monday, knowing that a majority of people, with the exception of those that work at federal funded jobs or federal government jobs, knowing that a majority of other people are at home continuing one more day of the New Year's / Christmas vacation, I would have aired the Cotton Bowl on that day. So, but that's just me. That's what I would have done. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So, in general, tell me what you guys think. Tell me if maybe I'm correct in what I'm saying. Tell me what you guys would do. I mean, I know there's fans out there. Tell me what you guys would do. It's up to you what your comments are and everything, but tell me what you guys think. Am I right in what I'm saying? Tell me what you guys think. So, until later on or whenever, I'm out.